Kathy Beth is the most aptly named person that any of us know. She's terrific. Father, if you can keep her in your prayers, and we're all going to keep Kathy in our prayers as well. We've got our Michigan State luncheon coming up on October 6th, right here at Hockeytown. John Wangler will be here. Michael Hara will be among the guests. Will Tiemann, Jim Miller. Some talk that Frank Beckman's going to be here to represent Michigan, who, oddly enough, speaking as a Spartan, still suck. So we'll look forward to that on October the 6th. Okay. What else have we got? Thanks to Dave Frisco, and John Yinger, and Ben Erickson, and Bill Harrington for helping set up our program today. Nobody said thank Rich for coming in and seeing the thing, but you know, there we go. You know, yeah, like they're going to keep me away from a microphone, right? All right, let's get the program going. I'm just going to turn things over to Kent Cal, who has graciously agreed to jump in here and handle this meeting for us today as we take a look at these 2010-2011 Red Wings. Come on, Ken, thanks.
Well, first of all, thanks for attending today's meeting, and you know, I'm going to bring up Ken Daniels here too, because I have to share the mic with him. So Ken, come on up.
First they want me to be president, now they want to do this.
Well, this is a learning experience for you, because when you're president, you're going to have to do these things. So.
Bitch.
Now we like to get our.
Is this on?
Turn the switch on.
How do you do that?
You have never been around a microphone before?
No. Everything I know I got from
Check. There you go.
Now it is. Good. Okay.
First and foremost, we'd like to get our program started. So if Ken, Holland, Jimmy Nill would like to come up and take a seat right up here up front. Let's hear it for Ken Holland, Jimmy Nill.
Keep going.
Keep going. All right, first and foremost, we're going to start the questions, but as you know, our forum usually is, we'll start the questioning. If you have a question for Ken or Jim, there's a lot of questions that I'm sure you have. Raise your hand, we'll get a microphone out towards you, and you can chime in. So first and foremost...
Good job on that. Yeah. That was good.
First and foremost, guys,
See?
Who's going to move? That's right.
Executive decision.
start of a new season, and your thoughts about going into this season with basically the same team and a couple of newcomers.
Well, I think there's a lot of optimism about our team. You know, I think it goes back to the last 21 games last year where we finished 16-3-2. We basically kept our team together, or the pieces that we wanted to keep together. We've added Ruslan Shalai, we've added Mike Modano, we've added Yuri Hudler. And, you know, if you look at some of the teams in our conference, certainly down the road in Chicago, the cap hit them hard, and the bottom half of their roster has been dismantled. I think they're still going to be an elite team, but they're not as deep as they were last year, much like we weren't as deep last year as we were the previous year, and probably Pittsburgh wasn't as deep when you know, weight going into 09. It's the nature of the cap. So you know, we're excited. We think you know, our guys think the extra month to train, the extra month of motivation, I'm hoping is going to pay dividends. And you know, the conditioning of Yuri Hudler's in great shape, or better shape than when we last saw him. I think that Dan Cleary's worked real hard this summer, and he's in real good shape. Henrik Zetterberg has lost a few pounds. He's made a decision to play a little lighter, closer to the weight that he played at in 08-09. So, you know, Jimmy, you know, and I think the other thing is, when you look at our team, you know, the perspective can be we're too old, or we're old. I think we've been old since 2002. That's partly by design. I really think that there's about 12 players in our team that are in the prime of their careers, and I consider the prime to be, say, 26 to 32. Zetterberg's in his prime, Datsuk's in his prime, Fransson's in his prime, Philp was coming into his prime, Howard's coming into his prime, Eriksson. And I still think that some of our older players, even though they're 38, 39, and 40, they were elite superstar players in some cases, like Nick Lidstrom. Even if their skills have diminished a little bit, they're still very, very good players. So, you know, I think that we're deeper than we were last year. Deeper in the sense of, I think we've got more offense. You know, we lost a lot of offense last summer. So, again, it adds up to, now it's got to happen on the ice. I also, as I look around the Western Conference, and, you know, I think parity in the National Hockey League is at an all-time high. I think if 30 teams are in camp today, I think 25 think they can win the Stanley Cup. And the other 5 think they can make the playoffs and go for a bit of a run. So well, we know that the competition is very stiff.
Jimmy, everybody is talking about some of the youngsters, and I know you oversee Grand Rapids, and a couple of guys stood out in my eyes so far, Jan Murzak and Corey Emerton. But talk about some of the young guys that really have a future for this Red Wing team that you've noticed.
Yeah, we're excited about a lot of our kids. Now, you always want to kind of be calm about it too. You see what they can do in camp. A lot of them are just turning pro, and it's what Kenny mentioned. You still got to go play the games and do it. But you mentioned Emerton's had a strong camp. This will be his 3rd year in Grand Rapids. Jan Murzak, he's got great speed. We project him that he's going to be a good 3rd, 4th liner for us down the road. Joaquin Anderson's coming over from Sweden, be a 1st-year pro. We're excited about him. A real big, strong kid, real character kid. Brendan Smith on defense. He was a leading scorer in college hockey last year, played in Wisconsin, turning pro this year. He's got a lot of upside. Now we still got to meet, upside is good as long as you meet that upside. But he's got a lot of skills to work with. So those are a lot of the kids that we're very excited about. I think the key to hopefully our success this year is going to be our depth. And when you can have those type of kids that you can keep them in the minors, so when you do get injured, that they can come up and help you. That's one of the major reasons we've had a successful team.
And when you look to this year's draft and prospects that you have over in Sweden, who we don't even know, Almquist and others, and I hear great things about his offense abilities over there. Who's maybe the best player not here in North America that we can look forward to that you think can really do it in the NHL?
We have a Swedish player that's playing in Maine, Gustav Nyquist. He was the runner-up for Hobie Baker Award last year as a sophomore. He's going to be back in Maine this year, and he was leading forward scorer in college hockey. Very excited about him. He's got that extra special offensive skill. He can score. He's very creative. Maine's coming out here actually to play Michigan State in about 2 weeks, so we're excited to be able to watch him play. But he's probably one of our top prospects.
You'll be excited to watch your son Trevor play. Kurt Fraser's son's at Michigan State, your son Trevor's at Michigan State, and the 2 Chelios boys are at Michigan State. So be well represented for the Red Wings this year. Kenny, my question for you is, what makes Jimmy Howard not fall into the same path that we saw Carey Price as a sophomore and Steve Mason as a sophomore struggled their 2nd year in the league where such stardom was thought of? What makes Jimmy Howard different than those 2?
Well, we're hoping age. In Jimmy Howard's case, he's played now 5 years pro, 4 years in the American Hockey League. He played 3 years at Maine, a year in the National Hockey League. So he's really got, between college and pro, he's got 8 years of high-end hockey under his career, so under his belt. So that's what you hope maturity, experience. I think that's one of the reasons why. A number of reasons why we put players in the American League, and we like to leave them there. We won the Cup in 08. Darren Helm played for us. We put him back in the American League 09. We thought there was a little more offense that he had, and if you get to the NHL too quick, you really get pigeonholed maybe as a defensive forward. And I think that the other thing is maturity. The longer they can stay and play in the minor leagues and mature, they're a little more prepared emotionally and mentally to handle the mental challenges of being a pro. So we're hoping that he's 26 years of age. He's not 21 or 22 years of age. We're just hoping he's more mature and more ready for the challenge.